Can you get a credit report without having the permission of the creditor? Well, Lorelei Stevens, the author of Lorelei's Legal Lessons, a book that I highly recommend you have and study. You can get it at our website, papersourceonline.com, in the bookstore. It's an e-book. It's very easy to get. But anyway, Lorelei Stevens, she's also the president of Wall Street Brokers Incorporated, has been spearheading this question on behalf of the cash flow note industry for a number of years. Unofficially, of course, there's no organized industry, no association. Will Rogers once said very similarly, I'm not a member of any organized political party, I'm a Democrat. But it depends on what election year it is. You can replace it with, when I'm doing this tape now, it would be Republicans. But anyway, Lorelei has corresponded with credit bureaus, state regulators. She's hired attorneys at her own expense and is engaged in a continuing dialogue with the Federal Trade Commission over the legalities of pulling somebody's credit without their permission. And you have to know the credit of the payer. This is what's behind it. When you're considering a note, whether you're brokering it or investing in it, you have to get the credit on the payer. Now, if you're brokering it, a note investor, it depends. If you work with the note investors that are in the PaperSource registry of note investors, you won't have a problem. They'll pull credit. But if you're working with a private investor or a smaller type investor or investing in the note yourself, you're going to have to pull the credit. Okay, but you can't go to the payer of the note and say, well, you know, we know you've been paying on this note, and what's your Social Security number? We want to run your credit. He has no incentive and no legal responsibility to do that. He'll tell you to get lost, most likely. So how do you do it? Well, one thing, the note seller can possibly get it. He should have the Social Security number. But is it legal to actually go and do it without having the note payer sign a form? It's best to have a signed form. There's no question about that. And there's a signed form in our dollar store, cashflows.org. There's the form that you can have them sign. The Associated Credit Bureau's analysis of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is the law that covers such things, says, quote, Section 604A3E, is a direct quote, creates a permissible purpose for potential investors, servicers, or insurers of credit obligation, and I like the word that we have to look at here is potential investors, to obtain consumer reports, consumer credit reports, for the purpose of evaluating, and you're evaluating a note as to whether you want to buy it, or assessing the credit or prepayment risks involved in the existing credit applications of consumers. For example, and this is a continuing quote, an entity that plans to invest in a mortgage loan transaction would have a permissible purpose under this section to obtain a consumer report on the borrower in that transaction, the borrower being the note payer. So the industry owes a debt of gratitude to Lorelei Stevens for her tenacity in monitoring this issue and pulling that up for us.